Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Cool Colas here to bring you the hustler's perspective. Hope everybody is having a good day today. Hope everybody got a chance to enjoy this weather out here. I just got back from having dinner with my girlfriend. It was our anniversary, so we got a chance to go out and get some Mediterranean food. And if you saw the last video, you kind of heard me say this, but in case you didn't, I'm telling you here, so you got a chance to kind of see why I was in the vest and the tie and everything. But anyways, so I want to talk to you all about this thing that I kind of had on my mind for a little bit and is important to convey to you all as my audience. So I want to tell you all about 3 things that you must do before creating a long-term goal or creating a business. So the reason why I chose this topic is because I wanted to kind of tell a little bit about myself as well too, in the way that I think. So I went to Western Michigan University and I got a degree in chemical engineering, as you already know, in the year 2015. And I worked my tail off to try to get that degree. It was not easy. I did not have a natural knack. I did not have a lot of teachers. I'm not going to say all because there were a select few that were cool. I did not have a lot of teachers who were willing / amiable when I was trying to go to get help from them. And I struggled a lot, and I struggled because no matter how much or how hard I studied, it seemed like the only thing that I could do was get C's. And I can admit that because I really did work my tail off for every C that I got. And I got my degree, so obviously I did well enough that I was able to move on, and get a degree and try to get a job out in the real world. So, mind you, I tell you all this information. I got my degree and I thought I was on top of the world. I thought, oh, I'm unstoppable because I achieved this degree that took me 7 years. Yes, I said it, 7 years to get because it was so difficult for me. And I feel as though I can do anything that I want now. I can make a bunch of money and live this happy life where I know exactly where I'm going to go. And really, I couldn't have been more lost at that time. The thing about it is that after having 2 years of extreme struggles, extreme trials and tribulations that a lot of people don't even know that I even went through, I can honestly tell you that I was completely lost as a student back in 2015. Even in 2015, when I had the degree in my hand, I was still lost. But I thought that I had everything. I thought I had everything because I had a job offer, I had the degree, and then the fact that I knew that I achieved it. I thought that I was the man, and that like my path to the rest of my life was pretty much not simple, of course, but I mean, I at least knew where I was going. And man, did that do a 180. And the thing about it is that I think that my life didn't really have a I'm not gonna say it didn't have a purpose, but it didn't have the right purpose. It didn't have the and I didn't realize that it didn't have the right purpose, nor did I realize the purpose that it should have had. And I'm just now in 2017 realizing what that purpose is. And I'm just now believing that what I'm meant to do, what I'm destined to do, is something totally different than what I did when I was in school. The problem is that when you're in school, there's this big stigma of whatever you do major-wise and whatever you do while you're there is going to define your career and your life and every single thing and aspect that you're going to have going forward. But that is such a completely undefined and arbitrary thing to believe. And the reason why is, one, everything that you do while you're in school, like everything that you study, maybe 15% of it is even in the job that you will do. And 15 is me being very generous. It's probably more like 10 or 5. So I think that it's just so arbitrary because you think that you're going to be groomed to do exactly what you did while you're in school, and you later learn that there are other strengths and other things about yourself that make you who you are. Now, mind you, your journey as a student is part of who you are, because it was part of your experience, but it doesn't necessarily define who you are. And if I happen to, and I plan on this, and I'm telling you all this today, I plan on being an extremely successful person. This is not the first time that you're going to see me on some YouTube videos or hearing me on a blog. When I become a very successful person, I for sure will not attribute my success to education, because education has nothing to do, or the education that I had has nothing to do with the person who I am right now sitting in front of you. And one thing that I can tell you from everything that I've experienced, especially within the last 2 years of having nothing but hardships, I can tell you right now that the thing that defines a person, or at least defines a person's level of maturity and wisdom, is experience and not age. What people tend to do is they tend to say, oh, a person is older, so they have a lot of wisdom, which could be true, but it doesn't mean that they're going to have more or less wisdom than a person who is younger. Myself, I feel like I have a lot that I still need to learn. So I'm not going to say that I'm the wisest person or even close to the wisest person, but I do think that I have quite a bit of wisdom from experience and from the things that I've been through. And I do have things that I can share with the world that I think could benefit the world positively. And I plan to do that. And my feeling is those who have had experiences, which I feel everybody will at some point, it's just on different levels and different ways. I feel like experience is a thing that that teaches people to, one, be humble, two, be a person who has a certain direction, and three, they teach you to I guess understand the wisdom that you have. So I guess I'm here to kind of tell you all about the reasons why I am the way that I am, and then kind of just a little bit about me and put it in perspective. And I guess the thing about it is when you hear me on these videos, you hear me talking about a lot of like ways to make money and things like that, and that's because that was part of my experience, was not having a job, well, losing a job, not having a job, not knowing what to do, and then having to scramble to find, ways to make money. That was part of my experience. And I want to use that experience to help other people who may be in the same situation. Because through this experience, one thing I've learned about myself is that I'm very empathetic. And I vastly care about myself, but I also care about other people and their well-being. And because of that, I do want to help someone else. As a matter of fact, I feel so strongly about that. I can't understand people, especially business people, who have a bunch of success, quote unquote. And I say that because success is defined differently depending on like who you are. But success, quote unquote, or money more so. I guess let's say money. They have a ton of money, and then they want to be stingy, and they don't want to give back, and they don't want to help people out. I just don't get it. I feel like anybody who's had an experience and continues to either be a jerk or continues to be selfish or not want to help people, wasted their experience. Because their experience and the things that they've been through should have teach them to become a better person and to want to help other people become better people. And that's exactly what I want to do. So again, I believe that people learn things through experience, not through age. So I just wanted to clear up that misconception. And I just wanted to just kind of make the point that the goals that I once had for myself, although I achieved them, it still didn't mean that I understood what my purpose was. The goals that I had for myself, again, was getting my degree. And as far as my purpose going forward, I didn't really have one. I didn't know if I was just going to end up in some random process engineering job. I didn't know if I was going to end up in some application engineering job. I didn't know if I was going to end up in an engineering job all to begin with. Maybe I could have been a salesman. I don't know. So my point is that I had no idea, but going through things, experiencing things, and then taking a good deep look at who I am taught me exactly what I understood about myself. And I'll even tell you right now, I can tell you exactly the things that I'm good at and exactly the things that I'm bad at. And I'll tell you right now, like, from my experiences, I've learned that I'm a great self-starter. I learned that, I'm good at, playing with what I got and appreciating what I've got. And I'm good at being very open-minded. And although I'm kind of I'm like a they would call an ambivert. I can turn that introvert extrovert switch off. I do know how to communicate well with other people, and that's just who I am. But it took me through my experiences to understand all of these things kind of about myself. So that's just kind of a little bit of 2 cents on myself before I kind of get into the things that I think that need to be taken care of before you can figure out your own purpose yourself. But I'm just hoping that that kind of like reaches out to another person, kind of puts things into perspective. So the first thing I think that you need to do if you are trying to figure out your, before you start a goal, or if you're trying to figure out / establish a business, first thing I think you should do is you should get rid of debt. Debt is very crippling, especially if you're young. Especially if you're young. There's nothing worse than having a bunch of credit card debt, than having student loan debt, than having debt from a new car and all this other stuff. Try to just live as simple as you possibly can. If you can avoid getting debt and buying things with credit cards, then by all means, please do it. By all means, because you're at a stage in your life where you're trying to figure yourself out. And by putting debt onto your plate, you are holding yourself back from getting to that stage that you need to get to. You can't put that onto yourself, because really what you're doing is you're lowering your the time that it would take. So basically, well, not lowering, you're actually increasing the time that it would take for you to get to where you want to be, especially on a net worth scale. Because if you think about net worth is based off of your debt and your expenses, and then your income, and then your assets. So it's all that together, and you get a total number. That's your net worth. If you have debt and it's just much higher than anything else, your net worth is probably in the negatives, and that's somewhere that you don't want to be. And that's a way to kind of scale yourself to see, how you're thinking about your success, at least financially. And I think that if you have debt, it's hard to just be a successful person who wants to do everything that they want to do, and then continue to kind of like deal with these like burdens that won't go away unless you get rid of them. So really, before you start something new, get rid of the old. And I feel like debt is one of those things that you need to just get rid of so it won't financially cripple you, especially if you start a business, especially if you have another goal of something that you want to invest in, especially if your goal is investing. Get rid of the debt, get rid of all of it, and then start what you need to do. Then go and go tackle your goals. The second thing I would say is you need to research and find what it is that is your passion. So in other words, I think reading is very important. Now, I'm not saying read every book in the world and become, master intelligent person. I'm totally not saying that. I'm just saying that you should read constantly to keep yourself educated, and then be filtering the things that you are reading, the things that you are taking in, and also being careful of some of the things that you're taking in. Then with that being said, take what it is that you got from it that's good, and then see if there's a passion in that. See if there's something that you found in all the stuff that you read and that you thought about doing, that you actually have decided in your mind that you would love doing and that you're very passionate about, and then go ahead and get it done. I think that you should try to look up kind of like little hobbies and tasks and things like that interest you, and see like the different ways that you can create a business out of it. And then kind of like just go from there, and then if you don't have the skills for it, then see how maybe you can either learn the skills, or see how you can get someone to either teach you or maybe watch videos on it. So if you can't like use your or if you can't figure out what it is that you're passionate about, then you're basically not at that stage where you need to be deciding that your goal is to start a business, for example. So you need to find something that you're going to want to do all the time. You can't just find something and say, hey, I just want to do it and I just want to make money and that's it. You have to be absolutely passionate about it, because you won't be good at it if you're not passionate about it. Because at the end of the day, the passion is what's going to continue to drive you to either want to get better, or continue to be good, and then eventually get better from where you're at that point. Other than that, you're not really going to want to continue to do something that you're not passionate about. It's kind of like when you're at a job and the job is like a dead end job, but you're doing it just to make money, but it doesn't make you feel alive. Like eventually you're going to want to quit altogether, or you're just want to, quit and get a new job, or the case is you just don't want to be there. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, for the second one, find something that you would do without getting paid, because probably if you're starting a business for it, you're probably not going to get paid at first. You're probably going to be doing it for free, and if you can continue to do it for free up until you can get paid, and still evokes life into you, and it still makes you feel alive, then that's something that you're passionate about. So that's another thing. So that, and again, don't let me talk super arbitrary here. Let me, sorry, my throat is like a little bit scratchy. So, and I'm talking a lot, so it's kind of throwing off my speech. But don't let me sound so arbitrary here. But I wanted to just kind of put into your mind that, you have to find the passion for yourself. That's why I haven't named a specific passion. Like, for example, one thing I've learned about myself is I'm a great writer, and I love writing, and writing is a good escape for me. That's something that I eventually want to create into a lucrative business. So that's what I mean by, like, a passion. And yours may be different. Yours could be, art. You may be good at photography. So that's what I mean, is like finding what you're good at, or not necessarily what you're good at, but what you like doing, and the thing that you would like to become good at, or are already good at. So again, when I say like, I don't want to sound arbitrary, I'm just saying that because, I'm just talking about finding a passion, but I'm not really specifying what you should find a passion in. So again, just find what it is that you like. Now, the third one is understand who you are. So understanding who you are is important, because you need to understand your what your personality is. You need to understand the good, and you need to understand the bad. But what you need to understand the most between those two is continuing to improve the good, so that it kind of waters down the bad. A lot of people, they work backwards. They think, oh, let me improve the bad, so there is no more bad and there's just good. But that's an impractical way to think, because you're always going to have weaknesses. You're always going to have shortcomings. Now, you could improve on those shortcomings, but it doesn't mean that you will completely eliminate those shortcomings. Now, that's why it's important for you to focus on your strengths, because I know this is random that I'm picking this up. My friend, sometime like a couple weeks ago, had a wedding, and at the wedding they had like bubbles, like they were blowing, and I saw this here and I was playing with it. But anyways, so you need to understand who you are, strength and weakness wise, because you want to improve on your strengths. You want your strengths to become so good that they overpower any other weakness that you really have. So everybody's focusing on how good you are at that. Now, mind you, I think the biggest and the most important thing is using those strengths to your advantage, like in business, in goals, and in things such as that. And then there's other things that I don't really think are things that can be changed up too much. For example, I don't think that determination and passion are things that can be changed up too much, because you have to have that in anything that you do if you want to be successful at your goals, or you want to be successful at starting a business. Those things can't be changed. You have to be that. And you have to be a person who's driven. You have to be a person who's a self-starter. Those things can't be changed. If you want to be a business person, or you want to have like a certain goal, then you can't be not driven to do it, because then it's not really a goal, because you really don't care. It's not a priority to you. But when I say personalities, I mean, like, we all are different in the way that we act and the way that we go about things. And we need to recognize what those things that make us who we are, those things that make us good at what we do, and those things that kind of hinder us from doing as well as we could. And again, putting that emphasis on the good things and then making them even better. So again, like, the important thing to also kind of figure out too, and this plays a role in your personality a bit, and then the way you are and your lifestyle, is the vibe of like the environment around you and the people around you. Who's in your circle? You know, are they kind of on the same tip? Are they all determined people? Are they all passionate people? Are they all people who want to own something for themselves, or have a business, or, you know, or I guess invest, or, you know, whatever it is that's going to help them reach the success that they need to reach. You know, figuring out if those are the right people to be around, and if those people are a good influence on the person who you're trying to become. And you also need to figure out if, like, you know, if the things that either they're doing or the things that they're asking you to do are supporting your ambitions and are actually supporting or working towards the goals that you want to work towards, or if it's just taking up time. Those are things that you really have to kind of assess before you know, start a business or create a goal, is, you know, your circle, because you should be able to mutually benefit. And what I mean by that is you should be able to add things to the table and then get things off of the table with a group of people who are like-minded, you know, people who are like you. So that's something to kind of think about, is who you're around, because I can tell you right now, although I'm like, I've been in like such crazy situations within the last 2 years, I essentially am much happier socially because of who I've eliminated from my life without even saying it or telling them they're eliminated, and who I brought into my life, and then what types of activities and you know, I've decided that I wanted to actually entertain, and what things I decided were a waste of time. I did a really good job of filtering that between 2016 and 17, and it's helped me to become who I've become. And you should do the same thing, being able to filter what things do not need to be a part of your life, and what things you know, do. And people say that, but they mean that, I guess, to just avoid drama. But I don't mean that to just dodge drama, because at that point your focus is on drama. Like, I mean that to focus on what is going to help you reach the goal, or create the business, or whatever it is that you need to get done, or you need to create. That's why I say it. I don't say it from just a social standpoint. And I guess again, like, you need to definitely listen to like your intuition, your vibes, and, you know, the feelings that you get when you're in certain places. If that place that you're living in, or that environment that you're around, isn't really adhering to your goals, then you need to get out of that as soon as possible. If like the vibe around you whenever you go somewhere or do something or asked to do something doesn't feel right, then don't do it. I think that everything that you need to do needs to be based off of what you believe is going to help you, one, reach your goals, or two, understand who you are as a person and the person that you want to be. Bottom line. So with that being said, I hope you guys got something out of this video. I hope you guys got a chance to enjoy what I had to tell you all. And if this is something that you liked, and this is a video that really interests you and you definitely want to see more, then feel free to subscribe to The Hustler's Perspective. If you would like to see the latest and greatest updates on my Facebook page, then feel free to search and follow me at The Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel. If you would like to check out the blog version of this video / other videos, or the information that's being given in these videos, then you can find me at hustlersjackpot.com. If you want to follow my Facebook page for the blog, you can follow me and search me at The Hustlers Jackpot. If you're looking to follow my business page on Instagram, follow me at The Hustlers Jackpot. And if you're looking to follow my personal page on Instagram, you can follow me at Cool Colas. Again, I hope everybody has a great day. Hope everybody got a chance to enjoy this video, and I hope everybody subscribes so you can continue to see what I have planned for you guys in the upcoming weeks. And with that being said, I will see you guys later. Keep hustling.